Welcome to day 4 of Vacation Bible School, Big Fish Bay. And again today, we're talking about Jonah. So yesterday, we talked about how Jonah took the message that God wanted him to take to the Ninevites. And we find out that they repented of all that they had done. God heard their prayers for mercy, and God spared Nineveh. He did not destroy the city. So let's catch up with our prophet Jonah and see what he thinks about what has happened. In Jonah chapter 4, verse 1, it says, "But it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he was very angry." Why would Jonah be angry that he delivered the message and the people repented? He was not glad. Not glad at all. He was very mad. He said, "See, God, this is exactly why I didn't want this to happen. This is why I tried to run from you and from taking your message to Nineveh. I knew that you were full of mercy and you were patient and you were slow to get angry. I just knew that you were going to end up not destroying them. This isn't fair." And he starts pouting. How many of you have ever pouted? Well, Jonah pouted. "Oh, Jonah, of all people, you should be thankful that God was slow to anger and filled with loving kindness. Of all people, Jonah should have had mercy like God did. But because Jonah had totally disobeyed God and went in the opposite direction, and he should have known about the mercies of God. Sometimes it's kind of hard for us to be kind and merciful to other people, especially if we don't think something's fair. So we're going to find out what Jonah did. Jonah left the city, still pouting, still mad. He stomped and went away out of the city. He flopped himself down on the ground and made himself a little shelter. He sat under the shelter to see what might happen to Nineveh. And God saw Jonah. God made a lovely green plant to grow right there by Jonah. It spread out these real large leaves over Jonah and gave him shade from the hot sun. It was so nice because it was a hot day. And he thought, maybe things aren't as bad as they seem. So Jonah went to bed that night. And when he woke up the next morning, he found out that his nice shelter, the plant that was covering him, well, it had died. Because God had sent a very hungry worm, and the worm gobbled away at the plant, and the plant had withered and died. Jonah, he was not happy. He said, "This is awful, my lovely plant. Why did this happen?" Then God caused a hot east wind to blow on Jonah and caused the sun to burn down on him. And Jonah was miserable. You ever been out in the hot sun and the sun's beating down on you? Well, that's what Jonah felt like. And he was so miserable, he thought, "Just kill me now, Lord. Why am I even here?" And God spoke to Jonah. "Jonah, why do you feel sorry for this plant, but you don't feel sorry for the people of Nineveh? You did nothing to make this plant grow. That plant was only there for a day, but you feel sorry for it? Shouldn't I feel sorry for the great big city with many people in it?" God wanted Jonah to understand that he loves all people and that Jonah should have loved them too. Jonah should have been glad that the people of Nineveh were rescued. God has every right to show his love and mercy to whomever he pleases. And God loves all people, not just the good people or the rich people or the tall people. All people are precious to God, and we should be thankful whenever God shows his love and his mercy to everyone. So our verse for today is, "Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good." And that's found in Romans 12:21. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.